Hai Minna Vener. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Singer Dad Reacts. My name is Josh, and I've been away for a while. I was dealing with some medical issues and challenges, um, but I'm back and excited to get going again here. One artist I haven't reacted to for a while is Angelina Jordan. I've loved seeing her grow as an artist through the course of my reactions. And as those of you who have followed my reactions to Angelina know, um, the last reactions I've had of hers, she was around 10 years old. And so I wanted to kind of make sure to cover some of her performances from when she was 10 that some of you have recommended. And so one that came highly recommended by many of you was Every Time We Say Goodbye by Cole Porter. It's one that Ella Fitzgerald sang, and she's kind of, from what I researched, hers is kind of the golden standard. What I did, which I have done in many of my reactions, is I listened to the Ella Fitzgerald performance of this song just to kind of get a sense for the song and how it was originally performed by her. Because my understanding is Angelina is using that as kind of the pattern for what she's going to do. So I do have kind of a comparative version of it that I can hold up and kind of compare to what Angelina does. For those of you that are new to my channel, this is what I do. I try to really be thorough and do some research and come in prepared to some degree. And one of the things I like to do as well is to read through the lyrics. So I wasn't able to find any that are specific to Angelina's performance online, but what I did find is just the lyrics that were originally written and that Ella performed. So those are the ones that I'll go through. If you're not into this part of my reaction, feel free to skip forward in the YouTube timeline to the reaction itself. So Every Time We Say Goodbye, songwriter Cole Porter. Every time we say goodbye, I die a little. Every time we say goodbye, I wonder why a little. Why the gods above me, who must be in the know, think so little of me, they allow you to go. When you're near, there's such an air of spring about it. I can hear a lark somewhere begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor. Every time we say goodbye, when you're near, there's such an air of spring about it. I can hear a lark somewhere, so that it repeats itself there. But how strange the change from major to minor every time we say goodbye. So one of the things I read in reading a little bit about this song is that Cole Porter actually added kind of a little trick to the song where he has a part of the song that goes from minor to major. So it's the opposite of what the words say there. So just to kind of mix it up a little bit there, add his own little twist. So there's a lot of kind of imagery in this song, as tends to be the case with some of songs like this. Every time we say goodbye, when you're near, there's such an air of spring about it. So you kind of get a sense of like the seasonal aspect of what's being said here. I can hear a lark somewhere begin to sing about it. So again, it's something in nature. There's no love song finer. Yeah, it's kind of saying, hey, I don't want you to go. How can the gods above allow you to go when they know how much I love you? That type of thing, right? So it's just a sentimental song about not wanting to say goodbye to someone you love. That's my take on it. If you have additional comments or you've done more extensive research on this particular song or something about it or Cole Porter, any of that, I'm always interested to learn more and enhance my knowledge. So thank you. With that, I will jump right into the reaction. This is the one that I saw from the thumbnails on YouTube that it looked like most of the reactors were reacting to. So it looks like it's the rooftop one that you guys suggested. And I believe she is around 10 here. This is from 2016. So Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's 10 in this performance. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. I did look to see if there were any English subtitles on this, since this is, I believe, for a Norway show, but it didn't have any subtitles. So it may be that we don't understand what the announcers say here at the beginning. So if that's the case, if any of you Norwegian speakers out there can kind of translate in the comments and let us know kind of what they say at the beginning here and at the end, that would be very helpful. And again, if you're new to my channel, or if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe, click on the notification bell. I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Jordan står bak oss. Verden ligger for denne 10-åringens føtter. Heldigvis så kom hun innom oss før avreisen til USA.
Og vi venter oss gåsehud, for vi har hørt prøvene. Bare nyt dette, og nyt også mandagskvelden. Ha det bra.
I love how it's just the acoustic. That's nice. What a setting.
Every time we say goodbye, I die you little. Every time we say goodbye, I wonder why you little. Why the goods above me, who must be in the know.
Wow. She has such a remarkable tone and musicality and style with the way she sings for her age. I've said it before, and other reactors I've seen say the same thing, and it's so true. It's like, how can someone at this age have this much ability and this much artistry? It's phenomenal to me. But like the way she's forming the phrases and the way that she's, the thing is, what I love about her, and if you've watched my reactions, you know this about me. I don't like to see an artist sacrifice pitch for style, right? Because like if an artist is doing scoops or they're doing like, kind of moving on a note and kind of swaying back and forth between two notes and things like that, I don't like that type of style and manipulation of the notes, because, and she is living proof that you can still have the style there, still have that, the jazz feel, the artistry to it without compromising on the pitch, because she's right on. I haven't heard any flat notes or anything at this point, so she's the master of that, of making sure that it has style but not compromising on the pitch, which is, again, not easy to do.
Think so little of me. They
Wow, that's good resonance. That's low for her too.
When you're near, there's such an air of spring about it.
See, little things like that, she's changing up the way that she's singing it. She's like with the diphthong, you saw she did that with the spring, where she closed off the NG early instead of spring. She does little things like that show that she wants to add her own like style and feel to it, and be true to the time that it ends, to Ella's version. And get it right that way. But yeah, I was talking about the resonance. So like when she's singing those low notes, because I'm kind of a lower voice, as you would guess. I'm considered probably a baritone, but I can hit some bass notes as well. But it's harder, like when I go into my lower register, to make sure that there's adequate breath and support to bring resonance to the tone. And so for her to be able to do that, those are probably not the lowest notes in her range, but they're definitely, in that area toward the lower part of her register. But she has good resonance there. Let me go back a little bit.
When you're near, there's such an air of spring.
Right here was what I was talking about.
About it.
Yeah.
I can hear a lark somewhere begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor. Every time we
Oh, that's cool.
say goodbye.
Wow. She has such good instincts about rhythm and about phrasing. It's really uncanny. Because that whole section she just did there, it kind of reminds me of when I did a reaction to Put a Spell on You, right? Because there's some really tricky things in there as well, as far as rhythmically, and she's always like right on when she comes in. Like if you recall from I Put a Spell on You, that section in the middle where there's like an instrumental section, and then she has to come back in. That's a tricky part there where she comes back in as far as knowing where to come in and how the voice is going to match with the instrumental, with the accompaniment and all of that. So there's some similar parts in this where it's like she has to get the rhythm just right, and she has such good instincts on that. Let me go back and show you real quick what I'm talking about. You see how she's doing this too?
But how strange the change from major to minor. Every time we say
That's a cool riff too.
goodbye.
She dropped it low there at the end. That's nice.
When you're near, there's such an air of spring about it. I can hear a lark somewhere begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor. Every time we say goodbye.
Yeah. So what also makes what she just did very hard is she took it kind of in Ella's original tempo, which is really like a slow tempo. And so when you do a song like that and you do it that slow, some of what normally happens with that is that it drags, and it's harder rhythmically, because if you slow down, then then you notice it, then you speed up, and then your tendency is to overshoot and to go too fast from what you had originally started with. And so it really becomes, difficult to stay at the pace, at that slow pace, right? The other thing that can happen with a song when you take it that slow is you'll tend to go flat because you're just taking it slow, and then you're not adding the energy to the tone automatically unless you're really focused on it. And so the tendency is to go flat when you take it slow like that. But with her, none of that happened. Like, she stayed right on track. I never felt like the guitarist was having to like speed up, slow down, to keep her on track and to adjust to what she was doing. I felt like they were just completely in sync with the rhythm and the phrasing and the notes and how everything matched up with what she was doing. She's a consummate professional. Yeah, I feel like a broken record with her because it's like every time I watch her perform, I'm flabbergasted every time, but it should not come as a surprise because everything I've watched from her is amazing. And especially for her age, it's just incredible how talented she is at such a young age. So, yeah, someone in the comments, I think, said that Cole Porter would sit up and applaud, for this song or something like that, in one of your suggestions. And I agree. Cole Porter is all of these artists, that Ella and the ones that came before, they love Angelina, I'm sure of it, because of what she brings and the fact that she's such a young, fresh artist that's coming out in our day where there's a lot of other types of music that are not as, rich musically and so in line with like the old standards and jazz and some of these classic amazing artists like Ella Fitzgerald. So anyway, I loved it. She's amazing, so gifted, and I can hear kind of her progression, and it's like each time I hear a different song in her progression as she's growing and getting older and developing as an artist, I can hear the development that's happening, and I can see it with the way she performs and the way she approaches the vocal and the phrasing and the style and the breath control, all the different aspects that come into play. So I'm excited to continue to hear more from her. If you have more absolute songs that I have to hear from her 10-year-old phase, please let me know. I think there are one or two more that you guys recommended. So let me know if you want me to move on to 11 and so I can, get to the new stuff sooner. I'm here for you. So let me know on that, what your thoughts are and your opinion is on that. I'm happy to follow suit with whatever all of you want me to do. So anyway, thanks again for your support. I'll end my reaction, as I do with all of my reactions, by letting you know all over the world that you are special, you are loved, and you can accomplish your dreams. And I hope that you have loving, caring people in your life that you don't have to say goodbye to, and that are with you and support you and bring you happiness and encourage you in accomplishing your dreams and are kind to you and all of that. So thank you again for your support, and take care.